Welcome to the demo on the Marigold Consort payroll template, a very useful payroll template that is solving payroll issues for small to medium sized companies. I'm going to walk you through how to actually run this payroll template. It's very simple. This template has about 56 sheets. Out of the 56 sheets, you only need to update one. All the 55 other sheets will be generated automatically. And that makes it pretty simple. 50 of the sheets are for payslips, which means that you can use this payroll template for up to 50 employees, whilst the remaining sheets are for the statutory payments and the bank advice. The very sheet that you need to update is the employee data sheet. This sheet also serves as the database for the payroll template. And so you need to pay attention and capture the details for the employees correctly. Now, the first thing you need to do is to select the first month you are processing the payroll for. And so here in cell A2, you drop down the arrow and you select the particular month. So having selected the month, you only need to capture the employee details. I'm going to capture some few employee details to run the demo for you to see. So the first employee, for example, we can have 22 to be the code. These are just examples I'm using. Yours may be different. So if the employee is active, just drop down and select active. You cannot type anything here apart from either it being active or inactive. If you type anything in there, the system will reject it. And so remember that it will be good to always drop down to select. Now, with a surname, let's say the employee surname is Ado. Let's say it's Emmanuel. I'm going to run pretty fast. Middle name, let's say Yao. So you select the sex. Date of birth, you put in the date of birth. Let's assume 1st of January 1992. Now, the date height, we assume 1st of January 2021. Phone number, always remember to begin with an apostrophe. So key in the phone number for the employee. Department, let's say he works with the finance department. Branch, we assume is Accra. SNIT number, very important. So key in the employee SNIT number. Let me scroll to the right. Now, the bank information is very key as far as the payroll is concerned because you would send the bank advice to the bank, and these are the details that the bank will need. So, again, pay attention and capture the bank information accurately. So, let's assume that this employee has his bank TTC Bank. Now, the bank number, capture that also. The branch, let's say Osu. The branch code, capture that. Now you come to the employee earnings. Again, these are very important information. That is what will appear on the employee's payslip. Let's assume this employee takes 5,000 as the basic salary. Does he have any rent allowance? Yes, for example. So let's say 400. No transport allowance. If there are any other allowances, you put them together, put them here. If you would want to capture any other allowance, let's say responsibility allowance or management allowance or any other allowance, you can put them here. If you want us to increase the number of the columns to capture more allowances, that can also be done for you. Now you have the total allowance and the total earnings. So the total earnings comes to 5,600. Now we scroll to the right again. We come to the deductions. With the deductions, you would have to decide for Provident Fund. You know, Provident Fund is the tier 3. For the tier 1 and 2, you don't have to worry yourself. The system will do the calculation by itself. And so for the Provident Fund, it is here because that is not a compulsory pension scheme as far as Ghana is concerned. And so if the employee is on Provident Fund or tier 3, you put in Y here. Then what percentage is the employee contributing? For this employee, let's assume it's 10%. Now you go to the employer under the Provident Fund. What percentage is the employer contributing? If the employer is contributing, you put in Y here, and then we assume 5%. Is the employee having any staff loan that he's paying? If yes, you put in the monthly installment that is being paid by this employee. So let's assume this employee has a loan that is paying 100 cedis a month. Lastly, you need to decide whether the employee is contributing to SNIT pension scheme. If yes, you put in Y. and you are good to go. Note that wherever you see Y or N, you can either put in Y if it is yes for the employee and N if it is no. You can also leave it blank if it is no. Now, let me capture the second employee. Let's have two of them to save time. And I'm going to run very fast because these are very simple. So let's say 44. This employee is active. Let's say Daniel. He doesn't have any middle name. He's a male. Now, the date of birth and all that can be captured later. Let's say he has a SNIT number. Now we go to the bank details. Again, you can capture the bank details. Let's say BBP Bank. The bank account, very important. The branch, let's assume is Kumasi. The branch sort code, we captured that. Now the basic pay, let's say this employee is taking 2,000. No rent allowance, transport allowance of 500, other allowance of 1,000. That is it. Now we have the total earnings for the employee. You see on Provident Fund, yes, then 10%. Is the employer also contributing for this employee? If it is yes, you put Y in there, then the percentage there. Now, this staff we assume doesn't have any loan, so we leave it as it is. For SNIT, we put in Y, and then we are good to go. Having captured the details, we can see the details in the other sheet that have been generated automatically. Now, let's go to the bank advice and realize that automatically the bank advice has been generated. You can send this one to the bank for the employees to be paid. You have month of January 22, and then you have the details, the employee account number, their names, and then you have the transaction details, January 22 salary, and then the net amount being paid to the employees, and then the other details for the company. We go to the tier 2 and you realize that the tier 2 has also been generated so nicely. Every bit of details that SNIT would need for these employees have been generated. And you have the 13.5% that goes to SNIT also captured here. You have your tier 2 also captured, and then your tier 3 has also been generated. Let's see the PAYE, and that has also been generated automatically. And this looks so nice. You don't struggle to generate all these. Now, for the pay slips, you realize that we have the first pay slip, Emmanuel Adoyao, and you have it here, Emmanuel Adoyao. His details have been captured nicely here. You have pay slip for the month of January 2022. These are the earnings and these are the deductions. You have his net payroll, and this is also generated automatically. Now we go to payslip 2, and that is for Daniel Jemfi. His details have also been generated, and the net is 2,719. Now, if we had more employees' details captured, all their pay slips will be generated automatically. Now, there are a few things that I need to walk you through. First of all, you realize that the pay slip for Emmanuel Ado, the name has been changed. You can also do same. So, for example, this is for Daniel Jemfi. You can double click on the sheet and then change the name. So, Daniel Jemfi, enter and the name will be changed so you can properly identify the payslips with the employee. Secondly, you can also see this particular month payroll because as you see, this is for the month of January. And all you have to do is to go to the file and save as, browse, and then grab whichever folder you want to save this particular payroll. And so you give it a name. So this becomes January 2022 payroll, and you save it, meaning that the original template will be saved, and you would have to change the month every month, and then you will be able to have your payroll on monthly basis. I'll press escape without saving. Let me scroll to the left and walk you through some few other stuff. So if you save the January one, for example, and you come back, if you want to run it for February, all you need to do is to change the month from January to February. Review the employee details. If any employee has resigned or has become inactive or should not be paid, all you need to do is to turn the employee on inactive, and that employee's details will be archived. And so this is the first employee, and that is the Emmanuel Yao Ado. If we come to Emmanuel Yao Ado, you realize that he wouldn't have any details on his payslip. If we go to all the other templates, you realize that his name will not be there. You see, he happens to be the first employee, and you wouldn't find his name there because he's inactive. If by chance he becomes active, you go back and you turn the active on, and you see his name will appear in all the templates, and his payslip will also be generated. Again, if you need any modification to this particular template, we will be able to do it so easily to suit your company. And so get in touch, connect with us, send us a message or call our contact lines, and we will attend to you and do the modifications that you want. Lastly, you don't have to worry yourself about the changes in the tax rate that the government may announce. Once you subscribe to the template, we will walk you through how to do all those changes on your own. Or if you want us to do it for you, that will be done so simply. Now, the last thing I want to mention is the fact that you can also generate your bank advice separately, or if it's a tier one or two or three, or any of the sheets separately. How do you do that? If you want to generate the bank advice separately, for example, just right click it and go to move or copy. Click on that. Now drop down under to book and select new book. Remember to check the create a copy and click on OK. You have created the bank advice, and this is the copy. You have the original one in place. This is a copy, and so you can save this one and, for example, say bank advice for January 22. You save it, then you keep the original. So you can send this one separately to the bank. Okay, I will escape without saving. You can do same for the other sheets. So the tier one, if you want to generate that one separately, you can do that. You can do same for tier two and all the other sheets. So this brings me to the end of the demonstration. Go ahead and use this template, very useful template. It's helping a lot of companies, especially the small to medium sized companies that cannot afford the sophisticated system to run their payroll. You don't need any data to use it, and very moderate in price also. Now, remember that if you want any modification done to this template or any of our template, we can do that. All you need to do is to get in touch, send us a mail or call our contact line, and you would have somebody talk to you, to listen to you, and then we'll modify any of our templates to suit the operations of your company. I wish you all the best. Bye bye.